how to train people. Regardless of what job you have, where you started, how long you've been doing the damn thing, you're going to have to go through some training. Why? Just because it's the old company that you worked at for 15 years and you've been doing this for that damn long, doesn't mean you know how shit operates around here. So you need to know that Jim in accounting is the one that you have to talk to if you want to get some shit done. You need to know that Josh is the guy that you speak to if you want to get this thing, and David is the person that you speak to if you want to get that thing. All these things are forms of training, and it's very, very integral to the operations, the daily operations, and to the team. Because if somebody isn't trained right, other people are going to feel like they're pulling more weight than they have to. First thing first, scheduling. When you schedule a new hire, you have to pick someone on your team that's going to train them. You can't have them train with one person on Monday and Tuesday, have them off on Wednesday, and then have them train with a completely different person on Thursday and Friday. That's going to create confusion. Believe it or not, even though everybody was trained the same, well, they're supposed to be. Everyone finds a different way to skin a cat, which means everybody has their own flavor to what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? So, if person A found one way to do it and gets the same results, person B may find a different way to do it and still get the same results. So if I get trained by person A and then get trained by person B, I'm not going to be sure which way is the right way. So I'm just going to be confused. Now later on, when I'm fully trained in the way I should go, I will eventually find my way to get the same shit done. I will add my own flavor to it. Understand what I'm saying? So it's very, very important that when you schedule the new hire, you schedule them with someone who A, is not only an expert in that station, but B, that they have enough time to be able to train them in terms of days. You don't want to have to put them in terms of days. You don't want to put them with a part-timer, because then the person is only going to be trained for part of the time. So when you're scheduling them, schedule them for 2 work weeks and with the same person. There's going to be that person's shadow. Alright? When they go on break, the new hire goes on break. If that person walks somewhere, the new hire is walking with them. Every move that they make, the trainer, the expert, is going to be there with them. They're essentially going to have a second shadow. And that's the way it should be. That's the best way to train. Why? A few reasons. When it's one person training, you know who to hold accountable. Let's say Jason is training Jack, and Jason is teaching Jack all of these messed up ways of doing things. Now, Jack can't say anything, right? He's a new hire. But when you see Jack doing all these things, you know exactly who taught Jack. It was Jason. So now you get to speak with Jason and go, look, hold him accountable and say, you know we don't do these things around here, and you're showing the new hire the wrong thing. So when it's one person, you know exactly who to hold accountable. Also, when you put them with an expert, the new hire gains confidence, which leads to empowerment, because they're now going to know that, oh, I've been trained by an expert, so that means I have been trained in the right way to go, so I know what I'm doing now after I finish training. You don't want to put them with a manager. Why? Managers get busy, managers have to step away to handle management shit. You don't want to leave the new hire high and dry, because the last thing you want to do is throw somebody in the pool to teach them how to swim. That may work for swimming, but a lot of times people drown and they have to get saved because they don't know how to swim. Especially if you're just going to throw them in the deep end. That's fucked up. Some people swim, some people sink. But a lot of people, you just don't know. So let's Let's mitigate our problems here and train them right. It also creates an opportunity for you to see the flaws in your team. Is your expert really an expert? Or does he just, know how to do the job so well he's been coasting by for so long? You'll see the flaws because a new hire will start doing shit that you know isn't right, but you let other people get away with. Also, you get to understand if this person is a good fit. Because they can't blame, oh, well, this person taught me how to do it this way, and that person yesterday told me I have to change that and do it this way. No, it's one set way to do something, and that's the way it should be done. Now, if you find a different, faster way later on, go ahead and add your own spin on that. Fine, as long as the end results are the same. All right? So it's always best to have either your top employee or an expert employee in that particular station to train. Because you don't want a new hire training a new hire, and you don't want a mediocre person training a new hire. You want a team of top performers, not a bunch of lazy ass motherfuckers who just want to get the bare minimum done. You want people who go above and beyond because that's just what they do. Number 2, so the new hire has started. It's day 1. The first 3 days, the new hire is watching and listening. They are the trainer's shadow. The trainer is walking them through every single thing. They should have had a tour of the store. They should know where everything is. The trainer should send the new hire to get things. This is a good test for the new hire. You get to acclimate yourself and be familiar with your surroundings and where everything is. Day 2 is more like you get to try it. You're still a shadow. You're still going on break with the trainer. You're still being told what to do. You're still testing them out to make sure that they know where everything is. But day 2 is more, yes, I'm watching, yes, I'm listening, and you should be taking notes, new hire. You should be taking notes, because you're not going to remember everything. Write shit down. It's helpful to write shit down. But day 2, you try it. You'll get in there maybe a couple of minutes. You might get it, do one thing, do 2 things, and then step back. It's cool to try if you're comfortable enough. But by day 3, you should be trying, definitely. You should be comfortable enough to try. Day 4 through 7, all this is happening within the first week. This is when you start to jump in a little bit more. You start to get your feet wet. The trainer should be taking a step back right now and start to become your shadow and just stepping in to correct you or to prevent anything crazy from happening. You understand what I'm saying? So by the end of your first week, you're not an expert, but you should feel comfortable getting in there and getting your hands dirty. You know what I mean? So the last day of the first week, managers, you want to sit down with the new hire and see where their head is at. I can't tell you how many times managers don't sit with the new hire to figure out where their head is at and what they're feeling about the position right now, or how they're feeling about their trainer, because let's be real, not every trainer knows how to train. If they did, I want to be making these videos. So you sit down with them and you pick their brain. How do you feel about the company? How do you feel about the work? Do you think you're being trained properly? Is there anything that we could do to make your life easier in terms of learning what's going on here? You don't want just to throw them out into the wolves and hope they survive. Training is an expensive thing. Hiring and onboarding somebody is an expensive thing. You're fucking up your labor to try and bring somebody on board. So you want to put your best foot forward, and you want to mitigate any no-call, no-shows. Because the last thing you want is to put in a week worth of training for somebody, and the next week they don't show up because you didn't figure out what the problem was. And they're not always going to tell you. Most of the times, 9 times out of 10, they're not. So sit down, touch base, pick their brain. Week 2, now, this is where things flip. Now the new hire is in there, and the expert is just supervising. The expert is keeping an ear out and an eye out for whatever's going on. Again, all they're doing is correcting and preventing. But you gotta let them make mistakes, trainer. You gotta let them fuck some shit up so they can learn not only how to fix it, how to prevent it. You can't just, no, don't do that. If the mistake is fine enough to let them go with, just let them make it. Some people don't know the pot is hot until they touch it. Let them touch it. But week 2 is pretty much when you want to step back and see, because it's 2 things that's happening that most people don't even really think about. The first thing that's happening is you're evaluating them, the new hire. Does this person fit on the team? Do they listen? Can they follow directions? Will they be able to do this without a problem? If I turn my back, will they burn a joint down? And 2, the new hire is evaluating you. Do I want to work for this company? Do I like the way that they treat me? Do I feel like I fit in? Do I like the culture? Are the people cool? Is the trainer cool? Because again, a lot of the time, the thing that happens is nobody ever touches base with the new hire, and the new hire ends up quitting, all because there was some miscommunication. I want to add something. A lot of you managers don't take any emphasis in training. OJT, on-the-job training, is a very integral part of not only teamwork, but operations. Training is so integral. It's so important. Because without proper training, how can you trust the person to actually get the shit done? Oh, because I'm paying them, because they know. So fucking what? Unless they were specifically told, most people will take advantage. Most people will be like, well, you didn't tell me specifically, so I'm not going to do that. You didn't show me how to do that. I may know how to, but I'm not going to do that here for you. A lot of people want to get people with experience and then throw them into the fucking fire. Just because I have experience doesn't mean I know what I'm doing here. Alright? I've been in relationships. Just because I get a new girl, I'm going to start doing the exact same shit I used to do for my old girl. No. My new girl may not like the shit that my old girl liked. You know what I'm saying? I got to learn her. Just like you got to teach people what they do here. They got to learn the job. They got to learn what they're doing. You can't just expect them to come in and be a fucking expert. Training is too damn important. It's going to save you so much headache down the line, because you're going to be able to rest easy knowing these motherfuckers know exactly what they're doing. And if they don't, well, I showed them exactly what to do, so now I'm going to hold them accountable. Because you can't hold anybody accountable to something that they don't know. That's fucked up. How am I supposed to do better if I don't know any better? But once I know better, I can do better. I think that was Maya Angelou. But training is important. Don't sleep on it, because you're going to wonder why turnover is so high and not be able to pinpoint it. One reason why turnover is high, your hiring is bad. You're just hiring anybody. Or 2, your training is bad. You don't know how to train. Simple.